On Point is brought to you by National Baking Company.
Good evening and welcome to On Point. I'm your host, Kalila Reynolds.
And I'm Dennis Chung.
Hi, Dennis. You enjoyed your holidays so far?
Yeah, I was at home doing some work.
Workaholic.
Yes.
Well, it's holiday time for most people, those who aren't workaholics like Dennis, observing Independence Day and Emancipation Day. And while some are flocking to the beach parties and things like that, others are more interested in the cultural events. You have your Grand Gala, you have your Denby. So we'll be talking about that with the Culture Minister, Olivia Grange.
And later on in the show, we are going to look at whether the Denby grounds are ready for this weekend's event following health and other concerns.
And also the economic impact. But first, let's take a look back at some of the top business stories this week.
At number 5, the Eastern Caribbean-based airline Liat has appointed its first female CEO. Julie Reefer-Jones succeeds David Evans, who resigned last year. She'd previously been acting in the position. Liat's board chairman John Holder says Reefer-Jones is undertaking one of the most challenging assignments in the region, but says she'd acquired the necessary skills throughout her time at the airline. At number 4, after several years of operating at a loss, the government is renovating the Montego Bay Convention Center. The renovation is costing some $200 million. Chairman of the Tourism Enhancement Fund, TEF Godfrey Dyer, says they're fixing the roof and investing equipment and furniture. The TEF took over operation of the convention center last year. Since then, they've reduced the losses from an estimated 65%. At number 3, public sector trade unions are demanding that the government complete negotiations on 18 items still outstanding from their claims for the 2015-2017 contract period, which expired on March 31. The unions fall under the umbrella of the Jamaica Confederation of Trade Unions, JCTU. The outstanding items include pension reform, paternity and compassionate leave, and the right to private work. At number 2, ministers and state ministers' phone bills are to be capped at $40,000 a month. Information Minister Senator Ruel Reid made the announcement at a post-cabinet media briefing on Wednesday. The move comes in the wake of the recent revelation that Finance Minister Audley Shaw had racked up a bill of over $8 million over an 11-month period ending last February. And your top business story this week is at the Firearms Licensing Authority, FLA. The entire board of the FLA resigned on Wednesday following allegations of corruption. It's alleged that some FLA board members accepted money for facilitating gun licenses for suspected criminals. On Monday, the Private Sector Organization of Jamaica, PSOJ, supported calls for changes to be made to how FLA board members are appointed.
And when we come back, we look at this year's Independence celebrations right here on Point. Welcome back. Well, Jamaica celebrates its 55th anniversary of independence this year, and Culture Minister Olivia Grange says the island's town and city centers will come alive with the celebrations.
But every year there seems to be some amount of controversy over the costs, and some are questioning whether it should be scrapped or not. Here's more on that.
Every year, thousands of Jamaicans look forward to attending the Independence Grand Gala. The event, which usually culminates the Emancipation and Independence celebrations, features an entertaining display of Jamaican culture. The Grand Gala utilizes thousands of performers, from children representing various institutions across the country to big-name artists. However, most years there's an argument about the cost of the activities, and this year is no different. The government has been criticized about the amount of money being spent to host the Jamaica 55 Gala and whether or not the investment is worth it. Meanwhile, the 2017 Gala is expected to be a huge spectacle with a fireworks donation from China at the end.
And joining us now is the Culture Minister, Olivia Grange, and Permanent Secretary in her ministry, Dr. Janice Lindsay. Welcome to On Point.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Well, welcome, Minister.
Thank you.
How
Yes.
much is it costing us this year to put on this celebration?
Well, the JCDC, Jamaica Cultural Development Commission, which is the agency that's responsible for implementing or executing the celebrations, this morning they actually spoke to what it cost, and the acting executive director mentioned a figure of about 186 million for the celebrations, which will go throughout the island. And for the first time in Western Jamaica, we have the Western Gala, which will take place simultaneously with the Grand Gala in Kingston. And then throughout the nook and crannies of Jamaica, we're going to have celebratory activities.
So from your point of view, what's the value of this? What value do we get from spending 186 million?
Well, I think in the first place, we have a lot to celebrate. We're a small country, a young nation, but we have achieved a lot. We have other challenges, but we have achieved a lot in a short time. I mean, we have the fastest man on planet Earth. We have a music, in reggae music, that has penetrated all corners of the world. We're giving the world a new religion in Rastafari, and we're giving the world a musical icon in Bob Marley, and I could go on and on with that list. So there is a lot to celebrate about. But in addition to that, we have to ensure that our people understand from where we're coming, where we've reached, and where we're going. So it has a lot to do with how we're going to motivate our people to continue to strive to greater heights. In terms of an economy, the economic value, it touches everybody, the celebrations. The seamstresses, the vendors, the young people who learn various skills in the art. Because we go, for example, at the Grand Gala, we are going to be involving about approximately 2,000 young people drawn from various communities. Communities like East Kingston, West Kingston, Majestic Gardens, Olympic Gardens, Malines area, Spanish Town, Portmore, White Mall, Central Kingston. So we are teaching young people dance movements. We're teaching them to make costumes.
I don't doubt the value of having a Grand Gala every year. I think you're right. You do need to celebrate your achievements. Independence is the time for national pride where you celebrate things. But the argument has come up every single year that why are we spending this amount of money
But you're ignoring the points I've made.
Hold on now. I'm coming to my question. Why are we spending this amount of money on a Grand Gala when we're in economic difficulty? Why not charge to attend Grand Gala? Why is something like this free?
Why should we charge?
Because we're short on money as a country.
This is a benefit to the people. This is an opportunity for Jamaicans of all walks of life to be exposed to a wide variety, the diversity in our culture, to be exposed to presentations by the best in our country, to be exposed to expressing themselves and being a part of a nation. And if we're not able to galvanize the country in a call to action by bringing everybody in one space, over 35,000, and in addition, streaming to the world and celebrating Jamaicans at home and abroad.
$500 to attend, even if it's just to offset the cost.
Well,
it might
initially,
not cover the cost, but it might help to offset it.
There was a time when there was a charge. But we feel, and it's a policy of the government, this is the only time that we are giving the people in return for what they have given to us as a country. We are saying to them, come as a nation, let us celebrate our achievements. Let us reflect on the past, let us see where we are, and let's determine where we want to go.
What happened when there was a charge? Did people not show up?
Well, the facility was not jam-packed with standing room only, people inside and outside.
Minister, if I may, I think the point also needs to be made that the Grand Gala is just one of the events that cover the whole week of activities for emancipation and independence. And the fact is that the Jamaica Cultural Development Commission puts on a number of activities that are paying events. So, you know, persons are expected to pay, for example, to attend all of those events that take place leading up to Grand Gala. Grand Gala as the finale, where, as the minister just explained, based on the scope of it and how much it means and pulls, it is the one event that we have seen consistently, that it unites the people in a way that I don't think there's any other initiative that we can speak of in Jamaica, where you see people, no matter what side you're from, no matter which community you're from, there is that one spirit. So it really is to make the point that in terms of your question about putting a cost to these events, there are events where people are asked to make a contribution.
I feel like
and they support it.
I feel like if people really value something, they will pay for it.
And they do, and that's the point. They do actually pay to go to the other events. You should see every single night thus far since we have started. The arena has been jam-packed, and these are paid events.
This is for what events are happening now?
There are various events. We started with a standing ovation on Saturday, it was.
On the 29th.
And tonight, for example, we have the fashion event that's taking place at the arena. Tomorrow we have Mellow-Go-Round. Friday we have the World Dance Championship. So it's various events that are taking place, that are paid.
Well, one of the things that comes to mind, though, I mean, the quality of the culture seems to be eroding. This year, I know we're not having a festival song contest also, which, you know, for me is a big disappointment, even though the last one I can really remember is Roy Ryan, which speaks to the quality.
Right.
You know, so what is happening there? Are we losing our cultural identity?
I don't think we're losing our cultural identity, but, you know, I may sound a little political here. But as administration changes, the emphasis and the focus changes. And so you will find that under this administration, there is more focus and attention on culture and the creative industries. Mr. Seaga is referred to of the Father Festival, the festival movement, and he has established the most cultural institutions that exist in this country. And so as a policy, our administration puts a lot of focus on culture and its development. That's why the JCDC was able to, they're on earth, they develop and they showcase talent. The festival song was introduced as a call to action. And over the years, as administration changed, this festival song became a song festival. So the emphasis was different. Festival song is a song that must be on the lips of man, woman, and child. So when it changed to a festival song competition, the emphasis was different, and it lost the vibe and its value. And so this change from time to time has affected the song, the impact of the song. This year, the entries that came in were not of a standard. And so the decision was made that we would suspend the song for this year. Next year, we will conduct workshops throughout the island to assist in bringing back the level of creativity that existed when the song was introduced in the first place.
So that has to be well before festival season?
Well before festival season, yes.
Starts almost immediately.
Because I tell you, there's a link, you know, between our brand and this culture shift. I mean, I was surprised the other day, Minister Bartlett was doing a presentation, and he said there was a research internationally that showed that even though we emphasize dancehall so much, dancehall is the fourth most popular type of reggae music, or Jamaican music, or music that people come to Jamaica for. People come to Jamaica traditionally to hear things like Bob Marley and that sort of thing, and then reggaeton, and then top 40 dance music, and then dancehall. That's the poll that came out of it. So, but we seem to be losing that cultural identity that has attracted people to the brand over the years.
Well, I think part of the problem too, for example, with the festival song, we had the top 10 festival song over the years. The media assisted tremendously in popularizing the songs. We had heavy rotation. And so people would know the songs. We were able to poll the winning songs. But now...
The winning one was Land of My Birth, huh?
There were several songs that during the period we polled, we were able to select the winning song, which would move it out of controversy because at one stage the winning song was judged. We had judges determining which is the winning song, and that became a controversy as well. And so Carl Stone, the late Carl Stone, was asked to do a poll, and we ensured that the songs got a lot of exposure across the island, and that worked. But now the media is not paying attention to the songs, so the songs don't get the exposure. You can't tell me the name of a song, the title of a song over the last 4 years.
So how is it that the partnership with the media broke down?
Maybe, you know, we now have a landscape where it has been, you have maybe 11 radio stations. You now have 2 free-to-air television stations. And the focus is probably more on getting airtime paid for, rather than allowing the talent of the people to be exposed. Jam Vision, which is a television station now established by the CBTC, does not have the viewership. What we have to do is to now re-engage the media, particularly free-to-air, to ensure that we can have that partnership.
But Minister, shouldn't some of that $186 million then be spent on marketing the festival songs, since we know that this relationship has broke down naturally with the media? Shouldn't we be spending some of that on
included in that amount is the marketing budget for marketing and promoting all events sponsored or
but in particular the songs.
JCDC.
But in particular the songs.
But in relation to the festival song, we were able to get good sponsorship in the past. Tasty was one of the first sponsors of the festival song. The cash prizes were very attractive. And we did not just have a cash prize for the winning song performer, but also a cash prize for the songwriter. As funds get scarce, you find that private sector is not coming on board as much. And so the JCDC's challenge, how you make this competition attractive enough. Now, I'm in as minister, what, a year and a half. And one of the things that I intend to do is to resuscitate and revive interest in the festival song competition. So this period here, as we look at how we're going to deal with not having a festival song competition this year, let's put something else in place this year that is meaningful. And so what we're doing is a retrospective on the iconic festival song, the winning songs, as well as the iconic entries.
So we're going to play a lot of those things during...
And then we will do this, we are doing this compilation, which we will put on iTunes. And the funds earned from the download will go towards establishing...
I would certainly buy that.
An insurance fund for the industry.
I'm not as young as you think I am.
Right. And because I find a lot of our pioneers, they pass away and there isn't enough funds.
But also, Minister, why can't we have a concert that brings back some of these iconic persons to sing the song at the concert?
You're preempting my announcement.
Okay.
Let's hear it.
But this is what we plan to do in October when we celebrate Heritage Week.
Okay.
We're going to bring all who we can together to support this compilation. And you will find some really
And that
interesting
would be a
combinations.
charitable event.
That will be charged. And interestingly enough, we
will buy a ticket for me.
are promoting young artists, the children of the icons. So we have completed Stepping Razor, which was an iconic entry written by Joe Higgs. And Joe Higgs took it to Peter Tosh when it was not selected as a winning song and said to Peter, record the song. Now everybody knows Stepping Razor is now, known worldwide. So we got his son, Andrew Tosh, to re-record the song. And that's one of the tracks that
And you also said that in our earlier conversation, Bob Marley was actually an entrant.
Bob Marley had an entry.
Yeah.
Never won.
Yeah.
Right now, we have this interesting discussion going on as to what was the title of that song. So some says it's Nice Time. Some say it's One Cup of Coffee, Satisfy My Soul. And we have now got information that
What's the title of the song?
the song was,
We're still in research on
it was done in 1967. I don't want to say the title just yet, because tomorrow I will be getting concrete proof as to what that song was, and then we will be re-recording that song to be on the
please
compilation.
let us not contaminate the concert with the songs nowadays that just you know
No,
these
it's going
little
to
songs.
be-
Yes, man, with these songs that it can't even hear what they're saying.
It's just
You
As
know, we
Mr.
don't-
Thiago would say, songs you can't whistle to. You can't
Every
whistle to
generation,
the tune, right?
Yes.
every generation thinks the new generation's music is crap. I bet you your parents didn't like your kind of music either. Every generation it happens. I think the new
Yes,
music coming
yes,
up.
yes.
But so the retrospective sounds good, but I
Sounds very good.
still want to come back to to what happened in terms of the festival song competition this year, because you say there are going to be workshops to help lift the standard. I don't know that the issue is people who are incapable of writing and performing good songs.
It's the prize money.
It's the prize money. That's the issue. We have people who are clearly capable of writing and performing good songs. They're just not entering the
we need to
competition
increase the prize money.
because they
Well,
don't have the incentive.
One year I was able to get established musicians, established artists, and established producers. That was in 2008.
But they'll only come if the money
But-
is right, and they're
No,
going to get
not
the airplay.
necessarily. Not necessarily.
Money and exposure is what the artists want.
You have to motivate them. You have to, not so much the money, but to make them feel that this is going to be promoted properly, it's going to be executed properly, and it's going to make a difference in their career, and it's something that will impact across the island. I think that we can achieve that, and next year I know we will. I know we will.
I think also realistically, this is the kind of initiative that you want the private sector to be a part of, I know that where people are sometimes saying we look too much to the private sector, but the truth is the private sector would be able to bring that kind of additional backing that you need to attract in a real way, as you suggested, where there is incentive to get people to produce at the highest quality. You just put together an attractive package. Wouldn't you see value as a private sector entity?
If you organize something that has exposure value,
That's right.
people will come on. I mean, we many times we organize food festivals in the country, and people are falling over themselves to sponsor it.
Yeah.
I know there's homecoming celebrations also coming in December.
That's right.
And there's a food component to it, and people have to create the product.
What I can guarantee you, next year people will be falling all over themselves to come and sponsor the festival song, to give good, attractive
And that's
prize
what we
money.
want.
And we want to encourage songwriters,
Yeah.
because that is really pension for people in the industry if you're a songwriter. Even when you no longer can sing, your copyright royalty means something. And so we really intend to make it work next year and to resuscitate and to revive the Festival Song Competition. But this year, there will be a benefit to the industry because we're going to establish this insurance fund, life and health, that will benefit those that are in need.
So in the last couple of minutes we have, tell us about some of the other events planned.
Right.
Well, quickly, I want to focus on the Grand Gala because that's on the 6th, Independence Day, and this year we get brighter because we have 2 holidays, right? So the People's Republic of China gave a gift to Jamaica of the most massive fireworks that will ever be seen in Jamaica. And it's going to be over 2 days.
Over 2 days?
Over 2 days.
Well, where is it going to be?
At the Grand Gala.
Okay.
On the 6th,
The 6th.
and then downtown Kingston on the 7th, at the waterfront.
Okay.
We have new images, new effigies of our national heroes. Again, we got assistance from the United States, where they sent a master artist who came and taught 7 young Jamaicans, the art of doing effigies, because it's an art that had literally died.
They look the same though.
Eh?
They look the same though.
Well,
The national heroes, right?
The heroes look like the heroes.
but
That's the question.
what I can tell, it's not a photograph.
Because you know that's how the controversy,
I know
right?
it's always a controversy. But we've tried to do our best
Yes, yes.
to have the images, but you can get away a little with it because it's an effigy. So it does not have to look exactly like the
Yeah,
person.
yeah.
But I think that the artists have done a very good job. So we have the national heroes, but in addition, we have Usain Bolt, Bob Marley, and Miss Lou. So that's
what
a new.
what about Mas Rani?
Master Run is being done, but it was not completed in time. And then we, as I said earlier, we had over 2,000. We have over 2,000 performers drawn from various communities across the corporate area and St. Catherine. Now, there are 2 special segments at the gala. Mr. Seaga, as the father of festival and the only living member of the first parliament,
Right.
and also the
Yes.
committee that the committee that worked on the Constitution, Jamaica Constitution, we will be honoring him at the gala. And then the other segment that will be of interest to a lot of people is segment where we will honor Jimmy Cliff. We pay tribute, and
yes, yes.
Jimmy Cliff will make a cameo appearance.
Well, that should be nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
That should be nice.
Now, ever
That's
since
at the
we-
gala.
That's right, at
Right,
the
right.
gala.
Oh, that's gonna
so
be lovely.
ever since we mentioned these 2 segments earlier today, and it's been on the news, we are now getting so many calls and requests.
Everybody wants tickets.
Everybody wants to come.
Well, we have to leave it there,
Yes.
Minister. Thanks, but we look forward to the big celebration
Yes,
coming
yes.
up this weekend.
Please try and attend some
yes.
of the events if you can.
And for
The
those who are
paid-for
going,
events.
for those who are going to the UK, we have Jamaica House.
You know, Minister, one of the things that should be in the it's always missing,
Yes.
we need to have a segment for choosing the play of the year, because that's a part of our culture.
Well,
The plays.
yes,
yeah.
yes. But that will be a different event,
Yeah.
and not necessarily a part of the celebrations, but an event. You know, the Jamaica 55 celebration is a year-long celebration. And it's not just about celebrating by having celebratory activities, but
So
legacy projects.
you'll focus on that.
Yes,
for
and I
the
hope-
old people, right,
Yeah.
Kalila? Yes.
I hope we'll have a chance to come back to just speak to our legacy projects, because I
Yes,
think
yes.
it's
Another
extremely
time.
important that everyone understands. We're not just spending money to sing and dance and celebrate,
We have
but
to
we're
leave it there.
leaving lasting
Thanks for
legacies.
joining us, Minister Grange, also Dr. Lindsay from the ministry as well. When we come back, we'll look at another big event for the Independence Weekend. That's the Denby Agricultural Show. Stay with us. Welcome back to On Point. Well, the Denby Agricultural Show is a staple of the Independence Weekend. The Clarendon-based event draws huge crowds every year. Here's more.
For over 60 years, agriculture enthusiasts have been coming to the Denby Agricultural Show. The show, which features the best of the best in livestock and produce, has been a staple on the local scene during the Emancipation and Independence celebration periods. The Denby Show is the oldest and largest agricultural show in the English-speaking Caribbean and one of Jamaica's most iconic events. It was first held in 1952 and since then has reminded us each year of what we have achieved in agriculture and its related sectors. The Denby Show attracts over 80,000 patrons annually.
And we're joined now by President of the Jamaica Agricultural Society, Senator Norman Grant, and also Research Director, Botanist and Plant Breeder at the Coconut Industry Board. Her name is Dr. Millicent Wallace. Welcome to On Point.
Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Good, very good program.
Thank you.
Thanks. So, Senator, everything is ready for Denby.
Well,
Air conditioning and everything, because it's going to be hot down there.
We're all ready for Denby. As you know, we had some concerns, food and health issues, and working with the Clarendon Health Department, we have closed them all out. So the 52 acres showground is ready for an excellent show, the 65th staging. And as a part of Jamaica 55, we're going to be saluting the farmers. Grow what we eat what we grow. A salute to the farmers, nation builders. Really because of this significant contribution that agriculture continues to make to the development of Jamaica. So we are ready, and the show is on.
So the bathroom issues, those have been sorted out?
Absolutely. The bathroom issues have been sorted out.
The food handlers issues?
Well, in fact, we had a food handlers clinic, the first, and you know, it corrected all those what I call binding constraints. We have closed them all out. So there are 4 issues. The bathrooms, we contracted a Portaloo provider to complement what exists. The food anglers permit, we have done the refreshers courses, and we have, with the assistant of the health department, issued, you know, food anglers permit. The drains, which was a parish council drain, has been cleaned.
So the mosquito breeding issue, that's been dealt with too?
Yes, the vector control, all the vector control issues have been dealt with. There was a pond in the middle, actually it's a fish pond that we're actually trying to get fish going. But when it rains, it fills up and it leads to the breeding of mosquito. What we have done is to dump it all up, and we now have a huge commercial space, you know, that we can rent going forward. We have now equipped we have reserve water tanks with pumps. So during Denby, you know, the pressure may fall, so we have adequate pressure to provide water. So we have, you know, I want to commend the team, yes.
So we shouldn't be hearing any complaints this year?
We should not be hearing any complaints.
So this is going to be the biggest
This
Denby.
is going to be the biggest Denby. It's going to be the best Denby. It is the 65th staging. We're looking for over 70 to 8,000 patrons. And we got confirmations from all over the Caribbean.
And the parking is...
the parking, yes. Well, that's one of the things, is that we expanded the parking area. So we use the material from the parking, the material from the area to dump. One other area is waste management, solid waste management. We have engaged the solid waste management company, NSWA, and they will be removing, they will provide 2 trucks. We have rented 10 skips from them, and we will be moving from skips to truck. As soon as the trucks are full, it will then go to the dump site. And really, we have developed a protocol that all other events can really study. So out of the alarm, cometh great and a wonderful product. So Denby is on and Denby is ready.
Okay, what are the highlights of the event this year?
Well, as we say, it's a salute to our farmers. On the first day is going to be the Farm Queen competition in the evening. The Minister of Agriculture will be the keynote speaker. The second day, the first day is August 5th. The second day is Sunday the 6th. we're going to have a parade of our farmers. 65 farmers. We'll present them with the President's Medal of Appreciation, and the Governor General will be there as a part of the ceremony, and then he speaks in the evening. And the final day, which is Monday the 7th, the Prime Minister. And we'll have the animal parade. So we're going to have farmers market, the youth and agriculture village, the livestock competition will be alive. In fact, we have more livestock entries than we have space. So it raises the question that next year we're going to have to build more barns to take animals.
So,
Sure.
Dr. Wallace, just to bring you in, you are going to be a part of Denby, the coconut.
Yes, the Coconut Industry Board is an exhibitor.
Because I know coconut is one of the most sought after items now, and we just can't seem to get a hold in terms of producing enough. So what's your thing going to be at Denby now, showing us how we can actually produce more coconut?
Well, at Denby, we will showcase the contribution of the board to the coconut industry in Jamaica. So there will be technical presentations on different aspects of our research, like breeding program, or new hybrid that we have released, the Braypan, management of diseases and pests on coconut, and of course showing that growing coconuts can be profitable. And of course we will have coconut products on sale, and jelly coconuts and coconut seedlings. All those will be on sale.
You know, like Dennis mentioned, coconuts are one of the products that's in high demand worldwide now.
Yes.
It's like the rest of the world is finally realizing the benefits
coconut is good,
of
right.
coconut, that
Yes.
coconut is good. Are we meeting that demand? Because I see where in the United States, for example, importing a lot of their coconuts from Brazil and other countries. Are we enough in that market to the point where we can be?
Well, all over the coconut world, there's a shortage, especially of planting material. And because of the nature of the crop, the demand came on very suddenly. But it takes a few years to get the bearing up to speed. So we are in that lag period where we're trying to beef up supply to meet demand.
So is it that not enough farmers are interested, or we just didn't have enough acreage to begin with?
In the past, in recent years, coconut got a bad name. Coconut oil got a bad name. And suddenly, coconut is good. So the demand skyrocketed faster than the crop itself.
But do you find the farmers are now more interested and willing to come on board?
Yes, more interested to come on board.
And the coconut industry also suffered from what we call lethal yellowing, which is a disease that really
Killed quite a few of our coconuts.
a number of our coconuts. But what the Coconut Industry Board has done is, as a part of the rehabilitation program, they have given coconut seedlings to farmers, coconut farmers. So once you plant over
125, and you're registered.
And you're registered, you are defined as a coconut farmer. So you are now eligible to get coconut plants free.
So what do you see happening with that, Senator? Because you're president of JS.
Yes.
So you see a lot happening with that. And then, so now, Denby is now moving from just goat and cows and yam to...
Yes, to all crops. We cover all crops. In fact, the coconut industry is an exciting industry. I addressed a coconut farmer at their annual general meeting, and I said, wait, there's a lot more money in coconut than coffee.
And that's what we're showing, that it can be profitable.
So you're moving out of coffee now?
No, I'm just having, I'm just having coconut
Out of
other
subsistence,
crops.
out of subsistence.
And it's
farming.
not just food products from coconut. I'm seeing coconut a lot more in beauty products.
Oh, yeah.
now,
Yes,
too.
we'll have an exhibit there as
The
well.
value added is
Yes.
just awesome. And you know, there was one time that it was said that coconut oil wasn't good for us, right? And therefore we ignored the expansion of the industry. Now we know that coconut oil is the best thing. Yeah. So it is one of the industries that Jamaica can build on, and it's a growing industry. You know, there's a lot of coconut planted, like in Portland, St. Mary,
St. Thomas, St. Catherine, and in the western end of Jamaica.
Those are the coconut belts.
Yes.
And it's a great industry. And in fact, the coconut board has a lot of money. You know, the Coconut Board has a lot of money. And I am one that has supported that the funds that the Coconut Board has should be retained for the expansion of the industry and the utilization by the farmers. I know that the government is trying to lay their hands on some of that funds for the consolidated
You
fund.
mean through the sale of the...
Through the sale of the
shares.
You know, it's a controversial issue, and we understand that when you are strapped for cash, you want to put your hands on anything you can get. But you know, the history dictates, the history indicates that the seed was sowed by the coconut farmers, and therefore, to that extent, I think, you know, good sense should prevail to support the fund.
So you are against the government selling the shares as
I am
president of JS?
I am in support of the shares remaining with the coconut farmers, because you know, you also have JACRA, which is what the government is doing, and it's a move that I supported. I worked on, you know, the legislative work even from when I was in the Senate, the merging of coconut, coffee, cocoa, and the commodity. So that is going to be a regulatory arm that will regulate the commodities, but the commercial arm
and the research
will be retained.
So government must leave the shares as the one there.
So government should allow those shares.
You don't have to use my words. But
those shares to support the research, the development, and get that money, Dennis. You know, to make more money, so you can collect the
instead of putting it into the black hole.
Right. Use it to expand growth, so you can get more profits and charge tax and profits, rather than now trying to. That's my view, you know, because I think it could demotivate the farmers. It could lead to exodus out of the industry, and it's not good for agriculture.
It's a short-sighted view.
It's a short-sighted view. So I think what we should be doing is to work with the farmers to ensure that that fund is retained for the expansion and the development of the coconut industry.
But Dr. Wallace, going back to what you want to do at Denby, I mean, one of the things I would think that the places like the Coconut Industry Board need to do is come to Denby with new scientific findings, like how do we get faster growing coconut trees?
We will showcase the research that we have been doing in that area.
And you have been looking at that?
We have been looking at that, looking at novel blends of fertilizer and new varieties which we have introduced from other countries. We are also testing those and looking at those that are early bearing with high yields. So that is in progress, and we will be speaking to that at Denby. And overall,
and
showing that
the same, right?
different.
It will taste different.
Each variety has its, you know,
its own unique
flavor, but it will be just as good.
But what about people? So is this like genetically modified coconuts?
Oh no, genetic modification is not done in coconuts, but it's just that there are many varieties. We don't do that.
Jamaican food.
But there are many coconut varieties in the world. So Jamaica has the largest germplasm collection in the Western Hemisphere. And even though we have lost many through lethal yellowing, we have introduced more. And so we're testing them to see how they perform under local conditions and to broaden the genetic base, look at the promising ones and use them in our breeding program. So we're here to say that the coconut industry is alive and well, and we are taking the necessary steps to expand to meet demand, both of the farmers and consumers.
Coming back to Denby, what's the economic impact of a show like Denby?
Huge. We think it's going to cost us about $100 million to stage the show. We think it's going to drive economic business in excess of $1 billion. And, you know, like...
that's direct.
Direct. And this is how... So I'm not even measuring the multiplier effect.
If you talk to Lord Government, might raise the tax on you.
No, but what it does it really shows that the agriculture sector is fundamental to economic growth and development. So we start with the Youth in Agriculture Village, the 4-H Club, Case, Ebony Park. You know, they have a platform where they're going to engage the youth to say agriculture can be a career option.
And we're looking at a lot of value-added agriculture.
A lot of value-added agriculture, the use of technology. The diaspora is on board with us. For example, we are going to be teaching the farmers how to create their own website at Dembe. You know, the Facebook page. We're transforming agriculture to an exciting era. You know, the livestock parade is huge. The food court, the farmers market, we're going to now have a
You find young people are interested in agriculture, they feel like that's not hot work, I don't want it.
Let me share some statistics with you. 15 years ago, just before I became president of the JS, the average age of our farmers was 67.
Oh.
It's now 44.
Okay.
Okay? When I became chairman of the 4-H clubs, we had 18,000 young people. When I left, when I was asked to the mid-office, 102,000 clubites. So more young people are getting involved in agriculture. There are youth that finish their degree in accounting, you know, in engineering, and when they are encouraged to look at agriculture, they say they are earning a lot of money from agriculture. And that is why we introduce a number of competition to highlight them. So we have at Dembe the champion farmer, champion
Junior
woman
farmer.
champion young farmer, yeah, the champion parish. So all of these we...
And then you're going to have the best Facebook farmer soon.
Well...
Not Farmville.
Farmville. No, Farmville came out of the Dembe concept. In fact, it was Digicel who worked, because Digicel is one of our major sponsors. So Farmville was really showcased on the platform of the of
That was a Jamaican-made game?
Well,
I don't think so.
No, the concept of Farmville within the Jamaican agricultural context, maybe not the game Farmville, but we do have some young people that developed the Farmville concept as a real network within Jamaica.
I think I recall it indeed.
Yes,
but we have to leave it there. Thanks for joining us.
So the admission is $1,000 for adults, $400 for children. We have the JUTC providing rides from, you know, after
transportation.
The cost is $1,400 for adults, $1,200 for children for the ride. And they have the After Transport Center, Spanish Town, and Portmore.
All right.
And if you want to park and ride, you go to Linders Road, and you park your car there and jump on the JUTC bus.
Thanks for joining us, Senator Grant. Also,
thank you very much.
Dr. Millicent Wallace from the Coconut Industry Board.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having me.
When we come back, we'll have the numbers and your word on the street. Welcome back to On Point. Well, every year, the amount of money spent to host the Grand Gala is the subject of fierce public debate. Some people say it's a waste of money, while others staunchly defend it. Well, here are the numbers behind the spending.
The government is spending $185 million on this year's independence celebrations, including the annual Grand Gala at the National Stadium and a second gala in Montego Bay. It's not clear how much of those funds are for the capital's Grand Gala alone. Last year, the government spent $62.5 million to host the Grand Gala, a large increase from 2015 when they spent $45 million on the event. The previous year, $57 million was allocated for the staging of the Independence Grand Gala. That was a big cut from 2013 when $87 million was spent on the festivities.
And our On Point team hit the streets and asked Jamaicans, would you be willing to pay to attend Grand Gala?
No, I don't normally go to those places, so even if it's free, I wouldn't be going. if they charge a reasonable fee, you know, we probably should absorb it because nothing is free and we got to get all this free mindset. I'd pay if it's reasonable.
Yeah, man, for real, man, is it. Why? Because bills are for paying, is it, and them are use electricity and them things, is it, so.
No, I don't think that as Jamaicans they should pay for something that is of a national interest. You know, I don't think that paying. I don't think it's right.
No, we may pay for that for. Just when I have a time for that, it always free, so might as well just go on with it free.
So, do you think Grand Gala should be free, Dennis?
I think so. It's the one event that is free for the celebration. I think it should continue to be free. The $186 million that is spent would not necessarily be for all of it, you know. But I think it is something that we should continue to give back. I mean, you know, it's in the context of things, it's really not a lot of money, and I think that there's a lot that needs to be done to maintain our culture, because that's what we sell. You know, it's important.
I think culture needs to be looked at more as an industry, as a profit-making industry. In order for it to survive, we can't keep thinking of it as charity, or else people just won't have the incentive to invest in it if they're not going to get. If they feel like it's just charity work, you're not going to get the investment and the returns, and the industry will never develop to the point where it's sustainable. And I'm not just referring to Grand Gala here; I just mean in general.
No, I agree with you. I agree. There is a lot more money that we can make from culture, but what we need to do is, I don't think the problem is the freeness of Grand Gala. We need to relook at the whole celebration, you know, and build much more excitement, much more education around it, you know, because really an investment in maintaining our culture, which, as I say, that is why people are attracted to Jamaica.
Indeed.
You know, I'm trying to say it.
One of the primary reasons people come here is for the cultural experience.
Exactly, and we're eroding it.
Yeah.
You know, so.
The other issue, I was surprised when Senator Grant said Denby directly contributes $1 billion to the economy.
I was surprised to hear, but it's not unimaginable.
Yeah.
Because when you think about the amount of farmers who are mobilized, the amount of people that go there, you know, it's really a significant amount of money, and people spend money when they go there. So $1 billion is not far-fetched.
Oh, I can imagine it. You're going to put on your boots and take a trip to Denby and your hat?
Well,
like Senator Grant?
Yeah. Well, he has promised that there's adequate parking this year. I've been down here once before, and the parking was terrible. And it's very hot. Because, you know, I mean, you can imagine just being down there. I mean, just going out to your car these days is hot. So,
it's been extremely hot the past few weeks.
Yeah, it has been very, very hot.
So imagine Denby. Let's wear some sunscreen and a hat and we'll be good.
Well, the senator came with his Denby hat.
Yes, he was prepared for sure. Well, that's our show, and thank you for joining us yet another week. Thanks to our hardworking production team and, of course, our sponsors. I'm Kalila Reynolds.
And I'm Dennis Chung. See you next week.
On Point was brought to you by National Baking Company.